Hello dear children, welcome back. I am Dr. Jisha Jo. In this session, we shall study about the peripheral nervous system. In the previous video, we have studied about the central nervous system. We know the nervous system is divided into the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system includes the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, that is the brain and that is the spinal cord. Okay, so that is the central nervous system which includes the brain and the spinal cord. And what is peripheral nervous system? Peripheral nervous system includes all the nerves that emerge from and enter into the brain and spinal cord. All the nerves that arise from and enter into the brain and spinal cord. So which I have marked in blue color constitute the peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system. So all the nerves that emerge from and enter into the brain and spinal cord constitute the peripheral nervous system, or we can say peripheral nervous system includes all the nerves that carry messages to and from the brain and the spinal cord. So what is peripheral nervous system? The peripheral nervous system includes all the nerves that carry impulses to and from the central nervous system. Okay, now the peripheral nervous system is divided into two. Peripheral nervous system is divided into two. PNS is divided into two. Somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Peripheral nervous system is divided into two: somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. First, we shall study about somatic nervous system. Somatic nervous system conveys impulses to our skeletal muscles. What is the peculiarity of skeletal muscles? Skeletal muscles are voluntary muscles. What is meant by voluntary muscles? Muscles which are under our control. So, somatic nervous system conveys impulses to our voluntary muscles or skeletal muscles. And the somatic nervous system is divided into, or it consists of, two sets of nerves. Okay, the somatic nervous system consists of two sets of nerves. Which are the two sets of nerves? Cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. So the two sets of nerves which constitute the somatic nervous system are the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. As the name indicates, cranial nerves are nerves emerging from the brain or entering into the brain. They are the cranial nerves, whereas the spinal nerves are nerves emerging from or entering into the spinal cord. Okay, and the cranial nerves are 12 pairs in number. Okay, there are 12 pairs of cranial nerves and there are 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Normally, the difference between cranial nerves and spinal nerves is asked for the exam based on the number. Okay, remember, don't write just 12, that will be wrong. 12 pairs. Similarly, spinal nerves, there are 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Okay, they occur in pairs. Don't write that the word pairs should be there, otherwise your answer is wrong. Okay, so that is normally asked for the board exam. Difference between cranial nerves and spinal nerves based on their number. So cranial nerves are nerves emerging from and entering into the brain, and they are 12 pairs in number, whereas the spinal nerves are nerves emerging from and entering into the spinal cord. They are number how many? 31 pairs. And what are these 31 pairs? We shall see. There are 8 pairs at the neck region, 8 pairs in the neck region, 12 pairs in the thoracic region, 5 pairs in the lumbar region, 5 pairs in the sacral region, and 1 pair in the coccygeal region. Coccygeal region. So these together constitute the 31 pairs of spinal nerves. So 8 plus 12, 20 plus 10, 30 plus 1, 31. 31 pairs of spinal nerves. So 8 pairs are present at the neck region, 12 pairs are present at the thoracic region, 5 pairs at the lumbar region, 5 pairs at the sacral, and 1 pair at the coccygeal region, together forming the 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Now we shall see more about a spinal nerve. What is the peculiarity of a spinal nerve? Have you heard of the spinal nerve before in any of the classes? Yes. What is the peculiarity of spinal nerve? Spinal nerve is an example of a mixed nerve. What is a mixed nerve? A nerve which contains both sensory and motor neuron is called as a mixed nerve. And spinal nerve is an example of a mixed nerve. And here we are going to look at the structure of a spinal nerve. This is the structure or a diagrammatic representation of a spinal nerve. This is a spinal nerve. You can see the spinal cord, that is the spinal cord. Spinal cord is marked there. And we know this in the spinal cord, the distribution of the gray matter and white matter. How is it? Where is it located? The white matter is seen towards the outside and the gray matter is seen towards the inside. So that is the inside part, that is the gray matter, which I have drawn with the black ink, and the white matter is the outside region. And we know what is the peculiarity of gray matter. The cell bodies of the neurons are concentrated in the gray matter, whereas in the white matter the axons of the neurons are present. So that is the spinal cord, and the spinal cord has the central canal. What is the peculiarity of this canal? This canal is continuous with the cavity, central cavity of the brain, and it is in this canal the cerebrospinal fluid is present. Okay, so that is the spinal cord. Hope that much is clear. Then the spinal cord has two roots, that is the dorsal root, and the lower one is the ventral root. So that is the ventral root and that is the dorsal root. Now we are going to discuss about the spinal nerve. As I mentioned before, spinal nerve is a nerve which comprises both the sensory neuron and the motor neuron. As you can see here, we know the sensory neuron is the neuron that carries impulses from the sense organs, which are otherwise called as the receptors. Receptors are the sense organs, and the sensory neuron carry impulses from the receptors, and this sensory neuron passes through the dorsal root of the spinal cord. Okay, hope that much is clear. The sensory neuron is the neuron which carry impulses from the receptors or the sense organs, and look, the sensory neuron passes through the dorsal root, that is the dorsal root. The upper root is the dorsal root of the spinal cord, and you can also see a dorsal root ganglion in the dorsal root. And what is a ganglion? Ganglion is an aggregation of the cell bodies of neurons. Okay, an aggregate of cell bodies constitute a ganglion. So a dorsal root ganglion is also present there in the dorsal root. Now again, if you look, the motor neuron passes through the ventral root. And before that, we know from how does an impulse enter into a neuron? It is through the dendrites. Hope you remember the first session of this chapter, that is an impulse enters into the neuron through the dendrites. Then it passes through the cyton, and then it enters into the axon, and it is from the axon the impulse is passed on to the dendrites of the adjacent neuron. Okay, so here Now look at the ventral root. That is the ventral root. The lower root of the spinal cord is the ventral root, and you can see the motor neuron there, which I have marked in green color. That is the motor neuron. What is the peculiarity of motor neuron? Motor neuron carry impulses from the spinal cord to the effector organs. Effectors may be muscles or glands. Okay, since here we are discussing about the somatic nervous system, that is effector is it is muscles. Okay, skeletal muscles constitute the effectors here. Okay, so that is the motor neuron passes through the ventral root of the spinal cord. And there is another neuron here which I have drawn in a red color, that is the neuron that connects the sensory neuron and the motor neuron. What is that neuron called? It is the association neuron. Association neuron is the one which I have marked in red color. Association neuron. So if you look here, you can see the cytons or the cell bodies of the neurons are concentrated in the gray matter of the spinal cord, whereas the white matter constitute most of the axons there. You can see the axon in the white matter of the spinal cord. So that is a spinal nerve. Okay, once again, that is the spinal cord. The outer region is the white matter, inner region is the gray matter. White matter comprises of the axons of the neurons, and the gray matter constitutes or includes all the cytons of the neurons. You can see the central canal here. Central canal is the central cavity or the canal in which the cerebrospinal fluid is present. Then the spinal cord has two roots, the dorsal root. The upper root is the dorsal root and the lower root is the ventral root. And remember, since the spinal nerve is a mixed nerve, that means it includes both sensory neuron and motor neuron. You can see the sensory neuron carrying impulses and passing through the dorsal root, and it has a dorsal root ganglion there. And you can see the motor neuron passing through the ventral root, carrying impulses to the effector organs, which are muscles. Now, the connecting neuron or the intermediate neuron that connects the sensory neuron with the motor neuron is marked in red color. That is the association neuron there. So this is an example of a spinal nerve. Spinal nerve because it has both the sensory and motor neuron. So this is normally asked as a diagram, or it can also be asked as a diagram based question for the exam. Okay, now children, we are moving on to the second division of peripheral nervous system, that is autonomic nervous system. Okay, the autonomic nervous system controls the involuntary actions of the internal organs. We have seen the somatic nervous system controls the voluntary actions. Here, autonomic nervous system controls the involuntary actions of the internal organs. And the autonomic nervous system consists of a pair of chains of ganglia on either side of the backbone. Ganglia, we have seen. What is a ganglion? Ganglion is aggregate of cell bodies of several different neurons. So a pair, these chains of ganglia, they occur in pairs and they are present on either side of the backbone. That is the peculiarity of autonomic nervous system. So autonomic nervous system consists of a pair of chains of ganglia on either side of the backbone. And what does the autonomic nervous system control? Controls the involuntary actions of internal organs. Now, this autonomic nervous system is again divided into two parts of autonomic nervous system include the sympathetic nervous system, and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Now, the sympathetic nervous system, the nerves of the sympathetic nervous system arise from the spinal cord between the neck and the waist region. So, the nerves of the sympathetic nervous system arise from the spinal cord between neck and waist. Between the neck and waist region, we can see the nerves of the sympathetic nervous system, whereas the parasympathetic nervous system is located at two regions, one at the anteriorly at the head and neck region, and second at the waist region. Okay, only at two regions we can see the nerves of the parasympathetic nervous system, where all at the head and neck region, anteriorly at the head and neck region, and posteriorly at the waist region. So that is with regard to autonomic nervous system. So autonomic nervous system, it controls the involuntary actions of the internal organs. Autonomic nervous system consists of a pair of chains of ganglia on either side of the backbone, and autonomic nervous system consists of two parts, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system, the nerves of the sympathetic nervous system arise between the neck and the waist, arise from between the neck and waist region. In between the neck and the waist region, we can find the nerves of the sympathetic nervous system, whereas the nerves of the parasympathetic nervous system located at two regions, anteriorly at the head and neck region and posteriorly at the waist region. Now, the sympathetic nervous system is stimulated by the adrenaline hormone. What is the peculiarity of adrenaline hormone? We have seen adrenaline is an emergency hormone which is produced during emergency situations to fight against the situation or to run away from the situation. So, sympathetic nervous system is stimulated by the adrenaline hormone. That means the sympathetic nervous system prepares our body to face a particular situation, or it helps the body to act against a particular situation. Whereas parasympathetic nervous system brings our body back to a normal situation. For example, suppose we are walking on the road and suddenly a dog runs and comes in front of you. Suddenly what happens is that it is the sympathetic nervous system which becomes active there, which prepares our body to either to drive away the dog or to run away from the dog. So, it is the sympathetic nervous system that prepares our body to face that emergency situation. Now, once the dog is driven away, or once we have run away from the dog, after some time we come back to our normal condition. This is brought about by the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so the sympathetic nervous system prepares our body to face an abnormal condition, whereas the parasympathetic nervous system brings our body back to the normal condition. Hope you have understood the difference between the two. Now, if we take another example, suppose your class teacher has come to you and asked you to say a speech in front of the whole school. Okay, that is, it happened suddenly. You have not been told earlier about the speech. Okay, and what will happen? Naturally, what will happen? What are the changes that will be taking place in your body? What about your heartbeat? Heartbeat increases, isn't it? Then what about your breathing rate? Breathing rate increases. Okay, what about your mouth? The mouth gets dried. Saliva secretion decreases. These are a few changes which I have mentioned here. All these changes taking place in our body are due to the action of the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, now once that situation is over, maybe you might have told the speech. Okay, gaining all the confidence, you have said the speech, After some time, you come back to the normal condition. Your body comes back to the normal condition or restores back to its original condition, normal condition. This is brought about by the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so it is a sympathetic nervous system that prepares our body to face an abnormal situation, and it is the parasympathetic nervous system which brings our body back to the normal condition. So bringing our body back to the normal condition means if we take the same cases, what happens to our heartbeat rate decreases, comes back to the normal. We will be calm. Then what about our breathing rate? Breathing rate again decreases. What about the mouth saliva secretion increases. So these are the changes which are brought about in our body by the parasympathetic nervous system. So I hope you all have understood about the autonomic nervous system. So my dear children, in this session we have discussed about the peripheral nervous system. If you have any doubts regarding what we have studied today, please ask your doubts and give your suggestions in the comment section. Thank you.